This is Cast of Wonders, the young adult fiction podcast featuring stories of the fantastic. Welcome. Episode 657. I'm Catherine Inskip, your editor and host. Every autumn, Cast of Wonders celebrates Banned Books Week, an international event celebrating the freedom to read and raising awareness of the immense social value of free and open access to information. For this year's event, we chose a theme of joy that sustains and asked for stories that showcase the hopefulness and power of diverse voices, stories of music in dark times, stories that are unapologetic and inspiring. Our second story for Banned Books Week is Plutopalooza by Gretchen Tesmer, which was first published in Nature Futures in March 2024. Gretchen Tesmer lives in the deep woods of the US-Canadian borderlands. Her short stories and poems have been published in many places, including Nature, Bourbon Pen, Mysterion, and Beneath Ceaseless Skies, as well as previous appearances in Cast of Wonders. Her poetry has been nominated for Pushcart, Riesling, Best of Annette, and Dwarf Star Awards. This story is narrated by Emma Osborne. Emma Osborne is a queer fiction writer and poet from Naarm, Melbourne, Australia. Emma's writing has appeared in Uncanny Magazine, Nightmare Magazine, Shock Totem, Apex Magazine, Queers Destroy Science Fiction, Pseudopod, The Review of Australian Fiction, the year's Best Australian Fantasy and Horror, Glittership, and Wastelands 3, edited by John Joseph Adams. Emma is a graduate of the 2016 Clarion West Writers' Workshop. Their debut novella, Grief Eater, is forthcoming at Interstellar Flight Press. They currently live in Sunbury with their girlfriend and 3 wonderful cats. You can find Emma on Blue Sky at Red Scribe. This story comes with a content warning for the end of the world. And now, we've a tale to tell.
Plutopalooza by Gretchen Tesmer. Tess and Gemma have been camped out on their tartan picnic blanket for days already, and they plan on staying until the very end. Of the concert or the world, whichever happens first. Smart money is on the latter. The way those lads are going at their bass lines and anthems up on stage, they're in this until the lights go out for good. Night is coming soon. The fireflies are out, blinking in electric blue. The Plutonian sunset is apocalyptic but pretty, with blood-red rays flooding the outdoor amphitheatre and the crowds gathered around it in scarlet hues. Good evening, ladies. Drinks for the table, or blanket? The Tiernan boys stop by Tess and Gemma's spot on their way back from the concession stands. Danny carries a pyramid of cups filled to the brim with purple-dyed spirits. It's a local drink, squeezed out from a native plant that their ancestors likened to something called agave, except this plant grows with fuchsia roots and a heart that has to be split open with an axe. No wonder, since it spent millennia buried in ice before the great thaw. The hangover feels like an anvil dipped in hot lightning. Bring it on, Gemma says, bravely, scrambling up to her knees to claim the tip-top of Danny's pyramid. Tess abstains. Are you sure? Atticus tempts her further, but she's stubborn about it, answering with the same conventional wisdom they've all heard 1,000 times before. That stuff will take years off your life. Years off my life? Really, Tess? Gemma replies with mild sarcasm, while spinning her twisty psychedelic straw through ice. They descend into laughter at this, even Tess, because the idea that any of them have years left is as absurd as, well, attending a music festival on the eve of humankind's final demise. But what else are they supposed to do? Sit at home with the doors locked, eyes shut, and hands over their ears, waiting for the end to come? That's just not how Homo sapiens roll. Or rock and roll, as the case may be. Anyway, the species has had a good run. Literally, running and leapfrogging through the solar system like Goldilocks leapt from bed to bed. Too hot, too many poisonous gases, too hot again, all while the aging sun up there just kept growing rounder and redder. Tonight, It's a ripe tomato in the sky, ready to burst. And so big that everyone in Persephone's meadow can see, by naked eye, the solar flares erupting off its surface. Those powerful flares will scorch them all to ash by the next sunrise, but they have about an Earth's week worth of night to enjoy before then, so that's something. Get ready to be proper lost souls in the underworld, Tess warns, nodding towards the dimming horizon. There's daylight left, but not much. In twilight, the red giant sun turns the blue moss meadow that same shade of violet that fills Gemma's cup. "Let's make some noise, Pluto!" the lead singer of the aptly named The Grateful Dead Sons calls out to his congregation. Gemma sets her cup down on cyan grass to give a rousing finger whistle. The high-pitched trill echoes across the field, mixing with others. Applause and hollers come from all corners, drowning out the music briefly. Even Tess is caught up in it, clapping her hands together above her head. Woo! The energy at Plutopalooza can't be defeated, not by dying sun, eerie eventide, or impending night. Not by anything. They dance with the boys. They dance with each other. They sing until their throats are hoarse and jump around until their legs give out. The sisters finally collapse back onto their quilt, giggling like children, gazing up at distant stars, sharing Gemma's dwindling drink while reminiscing about good times. In the meantime, the sun sets and the meadow goes black. "We're still with you," Tess calls out, hands around her mouth, while Gemma strikes a lighter and lifts it high. A guitar riff answers out of the darkness. By flickering light a candle, the sisters exchange grins and whistles, and cheers break out all around them. The whole place clamours for another song, and then another. They say the band played "Nearer, My God, to Thee" as the Titanic sank. And if these descendants of the last Earthers knew the song, maybe they'd play it too. Instead, the Grateful Dead Sons choose a familiar ballad that would have made their namesakes proud. It's a song of good nights between friends and warm farewells, melancholy but hopeful. The band beckons and the crowd sings along, verse after verse, chorus after chorus. Those voices rise, filling the field, the atmosphere, and spilling out over the edges of the dwarf planet, even after everything else goes silent. The scout cruiser off the Alpha Centauri system isn't expecting to find life out here. Given the state of this sun, their astrobiologists wrote the whole system off as uninhabitable centuries ago. The captain thinks his navigator is crazy when she tells him they need to check out the source of this strange but wondrous noise coming, and it just keeps coming, from a little speck of rock out in the middle of nowhere. So small, it could never be called a planet. When the cruiser turns on its lights, twin bow lanterns flood Persephone's meadow with golden glow. The ship comes in from the direction of Pluto's largest moon, which is a little too on the nose for those tipsy Plutopaloozians still dancing their final night away. Charon's ferry? Tess expects, thinking it's come out of myth to take them down to Hades, forgetting for a moment that Hades is Pluto and Pluto is Hades. That's her sister's drink talking. Maybe, Gemma concedes with a wise little smirk, optimistic about everything except their hangovers tomorrow. She gives a friendly wave to the newcomers, adding, "I think this ferry's headed the other way."
Where our first Banned Books Week story focused on rebuilding after disaster, this one looks at what we do when faced with a hopeless outcome. We don't always win. Sometimes the day isn't saved. The world might very well be ending. Maybe not for everyone, but for some, every day, it does. How do you face that? This story gets a miracle rescue for no other reason than humanity's refusal to go down swinging, partying like it's 19,099,000. But regardless of whether that miracle taxi arrives or not, the real victory is the choice to keep living, laughing, singing and dancing for no other reason than we can. Join us again soon. We love bringing you the best audio fiction week after week, but we can't do it without your support. As you may have noticed, starting October 1st, we introduced brief, tasteful advertisements at the beginning and end of our episodes. But here's the thing, this isn't just about ads. It's about ensuring we can continue bringing you the incredible stories you love while fairly compensating our amazing authors, voice actors, artists, and editors who make the magic happen. We heard you loud and clear in our recent audience survey. 69% of you told us ads are a necessary evil, and another 30% said you don't mind them at all, especially when there's an ad-free option for supporters. Well, we listened. For our incredible subscribers and supporters, we're creating premium ad-free versions of every episode, plus bonus content you won't find anywhere else. If you haven't subscribed already, you can get all of our premium access content for just $7 per month. This decision comes from a place of love for our community and commitment to quality. Our expenses have grown as we've expanded to serve our global audience of millions, and we want to continue supporting the brilliant creators who bring those stories to life. The vast majority of you told us you'd support us through this transition, and that means the world to us. Whether you choose to enjoy our stories with ads or join our premium community, we're grateful you've been part of this journey. You've been with us since 2005 through every evolution of Escape Artists, and we couldn't do what we do without your incredible support. Thank you for helping us bring free and accessible speculative audio fiction to listeners around the globe. You can join the discussion on the EA Discord and visit us on Blue Sky at castofwonders.org. Come say hello. Cast of Wonders is brought to you by editor Catherine Inskip, assistant editors Alicia Caparaso and Amy Brennan, associate editors Rebecca Arn, Tanya Adelit, Cup Jacob, Becca Miles, Ray O, Samuel Poots, Emma Smales, Denise Sudell, Rin Yi, and Angela Zazueta. Our audio producer is Jeremy Carter. Cast of Wonders is part of the Escape Artists Foundation, a 501c3 non-profit, and this episode is distributed under the Creative Commons Attribution Non-Commercial No Derivatives 4.0 International License. That means you can download or listen to the episode on any device you like, but you can't change it or sell it. Our theme music is Appeal to Heavens by Alexei Nov, available from Promo DJ or his Facebook page. Thank you for listening.